You are now watching Demeech.
It's on like Donkey Kong. So as you know, the Donkey Kong Country series is one of my favorite series of all time. Really love the games, and when it comes to the original on Super Nintendo, this was one of the most revolutionary games of the time. It was known for its pre-rendered graphics, great gameplay, and just overall being one of the best games at the time, and still one of the best games to this day. But when it came to portable Donkey Kong, you know, they had to think of some limitations around it because it wasn't like the Switch where you could have console games on a handheld. In fact, you could even have that with the DS with Mario 64 on the DS and stuff like that. So when it came to handheld Donkey Kong, they created the Donkey Kong Land series. Now, as you see with this cartridge, you can't mistake it. It's a signature banana yellow, and I gotta say, it's been a while since I played the Donkey Kong Land games, so I'm gonna answer the question of, does it even hold a candle to the original Donkey Kong Country? After all, this was designed for an 8-bit black and white system, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play this on the Super Game Boy because it does have some enhancements, and we're gonna see if Donkey Kong Land holds a candle to the original Donkey Kong Country. Let's-a go! There we go, got the classic Super Game Boy logo right there. One of the best game accessories of all time. I know the Game Boy player is better since you can play everything on it, and the GameCube just has better video in general, but the Super Game Boy is great as well, because you get a lot of bonuses with some of the games. As you can see right here, there's a custom border, and there's also a custom title screen with more color. Kinda looks like if it were going to be on the SNES, because after all, we are playing this on the SNES. So as you can see, there's a little bit of color on the title screen, which looks nice, but this is still an 8-bit game right here. So we are going to start a new save file. I'm surprised I got that far in the first one, because I replaced the batteries in all my Game Boy games. So let's see. First thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to set the controls to the way God intended and not Nintendo. I don't know why Nintendo wants you to run with X and jump with A. That doesn't make sense. So we're going to set it to where you can run with Y and jump with B. So playing through Donkey Kong Land, as you can see, it looks very similar to Donkey Kong Country. Because, well, of course this is a Donkey Kong game. But considering the limitations of the Game Boy, let's just take a second to admire how good this looks. Despite its limited color palette, you still have the pre-rendered models from Donkey Kong Country that it was so known for, despite it being 8-bit. That's really impressive right there. Of course, some of the animations are going to be toned back and stuff like that, but it only makes sense for the type of console that the Game Boy is. It's an 8-bit handheld from the 80s. Yes, 89 counts as the 80s, of course. So, let's see what we're going to do here. And speaking of the Game Boy, I'm really surprised it had as long of a run as it did, because it lasted for a very, very long time. It came out in '89, then it had kind of a quiet period in the mid-90s, but then that all changed with Pokemon. Pokemon changed the world, and it wasn't a fad. It turned out that Pokemon would still be relevant years later. So as you see, I just died there, and there are some issues with the game that you won't have on the SNES because this is a black and white game, and even though there's minimal color here, it's still going to be black and white, kind of. It's a limited color palette. So things often blend in, which can be a big problem, but you'll get the hang of it. This thing's nearly impossible to play on the original Game Boy or Game Boy Pocket where it's limited to just the black and green or black and white screen, but if you play it on a Super Game Boy or Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, it's definitely going to look a lot better. So we just had Rambi help us. We are going in a water level where we can get some bananas. Now, I love the Donkey Kong Country series, and whether or not I thought Land would be a great game, I wasn't sure about, considering that this is going to be on weaker hardware, and of course, while it's not as great as the Donkey Kong Country games on the SNES, this is still really fun. Despite the graphics being a little bit weaker and the hardware being weaker, you know, it still plays like Donkey Kong Country. A lot of the handheld ports were often so scaled back where it didn't even feel like the same game, but they really were able to make a really great game despite the hardware. We're going to the second level. This is an ice theme level right here. It was a rainy theme level, so this has a different selection of levels. They had to do this to accommodate for the different screen size and obviously the hardware, and it turned out really great. You do have to watch out for enemies because sometimes they'll sneak attack on you. Kinda reminds me of playing Sonic where you often get hit by stuff not realizing it, except it's mainly because the colors blend in a little bit here. But another thing the Super Game Boy did is, as you saw, was kind of the green palette for the jungle level. and it's a blue for the ice one. You had the palette change throughout different levels. If you played this on a Game Boy Color or Game Boy Advance, it would all look the same. It has a set color palette. But here, there's a lot more color. But there is more color if you're playing it on the Game Boy Advance or Game Boy Color, because the background has 4 different colors and the sprites have 4 different colors. Some games had custom color palettes like Super Mario Land 2, Metroid Samus Returns, and I believe the Donkey Kong Land games were included. Other games that had a default color palette, but some of them had custom color palettes. I know there was one for Super Mario Land, which was really weird because Mario was pink and red. Who's he trying to be, Granddad? Flintstones? This level can actually be hard because I'm playing this on a capture card right now. I had problems setting up my SNES, so I had to use another capture card. And if I use my RetroTink with the capture card, I wouldn't have any problems with the lag, but there is a little bit here, so I'm trying to fight against that, and some of the level design and hardware limitations, but I'm still having a really good time playing this game. Now, I wanted to know what your favorite Donkey Kong game is, because I love the series. It's been a very long time since we've had a Donkey Kong game, which is really unfortunate because I love the series. It's been 7 years since Tropical Freeze? Yeah, it's been that long. The game recently celebrated its anniversary. So I want to know, what is your favorite Donkey Kong game? If I had to choose, it would probably be Tropical Freeze, then Country Returns, and I'm not sure how to even rank the original trilogy because I like them all. I know often people say Country 2 is the best game, but man, it's a really hard decision because I like all of them so much. I know a lot of people say Donkey Kong Country 3 is the weakest out of them, but I never saw a problem with it. Like, usually the main argument I hear is it's not as good as the first two, but if anyone's willing to explain why it's not as good, I'd love to hear it because I'm willing to learn and understand because I just don't understand. Maybe it's because people don't like Kiddy Kong. I know there's a strong hatred for Kiddy Kong, unfortunately, and he's never going to be in Smash. Probably going to have, I don't know, 50 more Fire Emblem characters before that ever happens. But I never saw a problem with it. In fact, Land 3 is actually considered the best out of the Land trilogy, which I'll definitely cover all the games in this series. I just wanted to cover the first one first, of course, because I'm going in chronological order. There's also a port of Donkey Kong Country for the Game Boy Color, and it's a full-on port of the original SNES game. This is different, but they were able to port it to the Game Boy Color, and it's exclusive to the Game Boy Color, so I can't play it on this. So we're going to try to get through this, maybe go to a boss fight. I'm going to try to find Diddy Kong. Oh wait, I actually have him right now. See if he helps. So, with the ice combined with the lag and just some of the graphics blending in, it's a little bit harder to play using the capture card, so excuse my crappy gameplay of this, where I'm not that good at it, because I'm actually pretty good at Donkey Kong Country. After all these years of playing the Donkey Kong games, I would assume I'd be pretty good, but it's just a little bit difficult here, so bear with me. I think we're almost towards the end. Maybe slow and steady wins the race in this case? This isn't Mario Kart we're talking about. Alright. Gonna do a cartwheel. Thanks, Diddy. And I think we're towards the end. Cool. Now we go into this dimension right here. It's gonna lead Diddy Kong to his very own platformer, and then years down the line a racing game. So let's see what the next level is. I think this is underwater. I'm not sure, but I think it's underwater. Oh, no it's not. This is another jungle level. So we're gonna play as Donkey Kong this time around. I think the underwater levels are actually pretty good in Donkey Kong Country, despite me not being a big fan of underwater levels. But let's be real here, who really does like underwater levels? I think it's just mandated by gaming law to have them. Alright. Go. The jungle levels are so much more fun than the ice levels because the physics are just much better. Got some bananas right here. Go. Now they also remade the trilogy on Game Boy Advance. There's all the Donkey Kong Country games on that system. And Donkey Kong Country 3 actually has a remade soundtrack, so I might do an episode on those games, not quite sure yet. But I wanted to cover the Land games considering they're more interesting because the hardware is weaker. And I really wanted to showcase what these games could do, because despite these games being 25 years old now, they never cease to impress me. Like, the fact that they were able to get this working on the Game Boy is just amazing. Doing pretty well here. Until I get hit by a bee. Never say doing pretty well, Demeech. But if you've ever played the Donkey Kong Land games, I'd love to know what you think of them. They're on the 3DS eShop if you want to check them out. I think they're $4 each. The Donkey Kong Country games are on the new 3DS, so I would go for those if you have the funds, but no, these are great alternatives to Donkey Kong Country. Now, is there a reason to play these now? Unless you're a huge Donkey Kong fan, I would say maybe not, because the original Donkey Kong Country games are just that much better because the hardware is better. But if you want some more Kong action and on the go, this is a great game to play. Nintendo, put these on the Switch! Alright, we just cleared the level with all the Kong letters. I also love that you can save at any point. You could save in Candy's save point in Donkey Kong Country, but this time around you can save all the time, which is great! Love that feature. So we are in the pirate ship level right now. Got an 8-bit rendition of Gangplank Galleon. Music is great as always. Very good. And it's an 8-bit rendition, so hey, you don't even need to make 8-bit remixes of Donkey Kong Country when you already got it right here. Now, I think there's a few original songs in the game, but most of it is remade from Donkey Kong Country, which isn't a problem because that game has a phenomenal soundtrack even to this day. You're just not getting some of the instruments from the SNES. But that's really no big issue because it still sounds great in 8-bit. In the level, they went for an orange color scheme here, which looks pretty good. Alright. So we're gonna do a lot of climbing here, watch out for the birds. And the bosses are pretty fun too. Okay, I did not know how that happened right there, because you usually would fall, but I'm assuming that has to do something with the limitations of the Game Boy. So we're just gonna play as Donkey Kong right now. That was not a good move right there. Alright. Gotta get past the bee. I hate you, bees! I hate you, bees! I hate you, bees! Got some banana bunches. Bananas. And I hate beavers too. We hate beavers, yes we do. Ooh, ooh. Here we go. If a beaver was a game character, you know what he'd say when he loses? Damn. That was a cheesy joke. Okay, that was my fault right there. That was just me being distracted. Gotta watch out for the Kremlings right here. I miss the Kremlings. I really hope they come back in the next Donkey Kong Country. I think they will, because K. Rool was in Smash. But so far, we're doing okay. Not great, but just okay. Okay. Now, when you see it, or when Donkey Kong Country eventually comes to the Switch, what do you want to see from the game? Because I really want them to take a crack at 3D again. It's been over 20 years since Donkey Kong 64, and I really like that game. I just wish they'd do it again. Or figure out a way to make Donkey Kong work even better in 3D, because a lot of people didn't like the collection aspect of the game. I liked it. I liked all the playable characters, but it'd be really cool to see what they could do with Donkey Kong Country in 3D again. It's been 21 years now? Wow. Been a long time. I wonder if they'll need an expansion pack for the Switch, though. Probably not. Or better yet, maybe it'll be Switch Pro Enhanced if the Switch Pro ever happens, but Nintendo's saying it's not. So take that as you will. They're known to lie, but at the same time, they told you so if it doesn't end up happening. Alright, we're at the checkpoint right now. Perfect use of the barrel right there. Gonna switch to Donkey Kong. Watch out for the bird. But yeah, I really want a Donkey Kong Country game on the Switch. It's been far too long. I also want Pikmin 4, Mario Kart 9, Super Mario Odyssey 2. Maybe even Super Mario Party 2 if they can actually make it good. I didn't get the first one because I knew it was very lacking, but from what I've heard, they actually tried to return to form, and if it had more boards and the boards were just better, it definitely would be better. Alright, the snake kind of blended in there, so you gotta keep your eyes peeled, like a banana. But you gotta keep your eyes literally peeled because enemies can attack you at any time. Combine that with the lower screen resolution of the Game Boy, and you gotta be extra careful this time around. There we go. Oh! That was not fun right there. But at least we got a checkpoint. Gives you the thumbs up. I wonder if that's Funky Kong. Of course it would be. He's a cool guy. I wish he was playable in this game, but give it a few years, Funky. You'll find your way in a playable appearance. And it's not gonna be a platformer. That is until the Switch, of course. Find it odd that they didn't include him in an actual Donkey Kong platformer until years later. That is, unless you count something like the Jungle Climber game on the DS. Pretty underrated game. I actually tried finding it for many years because it was a little bit hard to find. I think they just produced it in the late 2000s and then didn't reproduce it or have it at stores. Because I've never seen it in stores before. But I know they did make some of the games like Partners in Time, Super Princess Peach, and Yoshi's Island DS Toys R Us exclusive. So, rest in paradise, Toys R Us. Alright guys, I'm feeling a little bit de-energized, so we need some espresso. That's the ostrich's name. So that was just for a bonus level, so we're gonna have to go in this barrel right here. Or actually, yeah, we just cleared the level. So let's see what's next. I think I'll do one more level and we're gonna wrap up this episode of Demeech's Arcade. So we can choose which way we want to go. So it has some, like, depth to the map, like you can choose what direction you go. Pretty nice. And of course I choose the ice level. Well, it is the winter time if you're in the northern hemisphere. Or should I say, cremisphere. Haha. It's actually called the northern, or the cremisphere in the game. So let's see, we're gonna deal with the lag, the slippy physics, and the graphics as much as possible. Keep my eyes peeled, don't get distracted. Alright. Made it through there. I'd also love to know your favorite Game Boy games, because I have a pretty good collection of Game Boy games, and I love playing them. So if you have any suggestions for an episode I should do, I'm more than happy to take a look at any of the Game Boy games that I have. I think I have most of the popular ones. A few of them I might be missing, but shouldn't be a problem getting them since Game Boy games are fairly reasonably priced. GameCube, forget about it. Alright, made it to the checkpoint. I think we already had Diddy Kong from before, but better safe than sorry. Okay. So this level, I'm glad it doesn't really focus on the ice physics that much. Mainly just focusing on the climbing aspect. So you're going on these ropes that move around. They did some really cool stuff with the level design right here. Alright. Cleared that obstacle. It's okay, I had Diddy Kong, so we're gonna get through this. We're in this together, guys. Okay. That was an epic fail right there. Thank God for checkpoints. Especially in games like this. And thank God for saving your progress. You know, I was playing New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe the other day, and I am shocked that they had the quick save feature. Like, why not just have a save feature? It's not like you're trying to make the game difficult. You have a Toadette mode, a Nabbit mode, and in addition to that, a Super Guide. So I don't think a saving feature would really increase the or decrease the difficulty. It'd just make it more convenient to pick up and play. And that's another reason why I don't like New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. So I'm debating whether or not I should clear this level, or just try to go to another level. I think I might have to clear this. Just gonna watch out for the bees. See, that barrel blends in right there. I often don't notice it. Just gonna try to clear this out. There we go. Got some bananas. Alright, cleared that obstacle right there. It's just the bee will ruin your day. Okay, I think we're close to the end. Now you have to be very precise when it comes to using the barrel. And there we go, we cleared the stage. So that's Donkey Kong Land for you. I'm looking forward to covering more of the Donkey Kong Land games. And if you've ever played them, I'd love to know what you think. And as always, just the questions I have. What's your favorite Donkey Kong game? What's so bad about Donkey Kong Country 3? And if you have requests, you're more than welcome to just request any game you want. Have a ton of Nintendo games to cover, so leave your requests in the comments. I'm Demeech, and keep calm and da-da on.